In this section, we'll cover ABS brake system operation, the basic all-wheel drive system, and some tips on difficult driving conditions. The ABS system prevents the brakes from locking up during sudden braking or braking on slippery roads. This improves directional stability and steering control. When the ABS is operating, you may hear a mechanical sound and feel a slight pulsation from the brake pedal and through the vehicle body and steering wheel. This is normal. Two cautions. When the ABS system is operating, you may feel a slight change in the steering. Also, when driving on badly surfaced roads, gravel roads, or deep, newly fallen snow, the stopping distance may be longer than anticipated, even with ABS. Under these conditions, reduce your speed and leave a safe distance from other vehicles. Your Subaru SVX automatically splits engine torque between the front and rear wheels. Its viscous limited slip differential splits torque between the left and right rear wheels. Now some driving tips. Remember that the SVX all-wheel drive system was designed for on-road use, not off-road use. It is not an all-terrain vehicle. You will be able to climb steeper roads under snowy or slippery conditions than with a front-wheel drive vehicle. But there is little difference in the handling going down a slope, especially while turning sharp corners or braking. Be sure to reduce your speed and maintain a safe distance from other vehicles. There are other driving tips in your Subaru SVX owner's manual. Your Subaru SVX has an automatic climate control system. It features an advanced design variable displacement air conditioning compressor that doesn't have to cycle on and off. However, it does shut off temporarily when the accelerator is fully depressed for extra passing power. For normal operation, press the auto switch and set the temperature control. A setting of 75 degrees throughout the year is recommended. The temperature control can be set up or down in 1-degree increments between 65 and 85 degrees. When cooling or dehumidification is not required, press the economy switch. This shuts off the air conditioning compressor. The defrost, circulate, and fan switches activate those functions, while all other functions remain automatic. The vent switch allows outside air into the vehicle, with its temperature uncontrolled and the fan on medium. Circulate shuts off the outside air inlet and recirculates inside air. It's for use on dusty roads. Automatic control resumes in 10 minutes. This switch displays outside temperature for 5 seconds. To turn off the automatic climate control, press off. This door conceals the stereo components for greater security and smoother styling. The same knob is used for both power on-off and volume control. The fader control adjusts front to rear speaker balance. The balance control adjusts left to right speaker balance. Bass and treble controls are also provided. A graphic equalizer is not necessary because the system has been tuned to the car's interior. To preset a station, press the scan button or tune manually to the desired frequency. Press one of the preset buttons down for at least 2 seconds to store the station in memory. The frequency will flash once. The cassette tape player auto-loads the tape and begins playback. The radio station preset buttons double as function buttons for the tape player. Read your owner's manual for operation of the program button, automatic program search or APS button, and Dolby noise reduction button. The tape player automatically adjusts for metal or chrome tape, and MTL shows on the display. The optional CD player is easy to operate. With its label up, insert a compact disc partway into the player slot, and it loads automatically. In addition to standard-size CDs, you can also play 3-inch discs in this unit. Use the radio knobs to adjust the volume and tone. Read your owner's manual for the CD player functions and display readouts. We'll cover just a few here. The play-stop button will start CD playback, stop it, then restart it at the same place on the disc. The track button advances to the next song or goes back to the prior song, each time you press it. When you release it, the song you selected will begin playing. Pressing the scan button plays the first 10 seconds of each selection. Press it again to continue playing the song you are hearing. The repeat button causes continuous play of the song you are currently hearing. To cancel, Press the button again. The eject button pushes the disc out even when the ignition is in the lock position. Let's take a quick look at some of the many standard features and some of the optional features on your Subaru SVX. The console provides extra storage. The illuminated driver and passenger mirrors light automatically when opened. Pressing this arrow button once tilts the optional sunroof up for ventilation. Press the button again and the sunroof opens all the way. This hex wrench is provided to open or close the sunroof manually in case of malfunction. The sunroof automatically stops halfway through the closing cycle for extra safety. Simply press the arrow button again to close the sunroof all the way. The overhead spotlights are operated by the switches next to them. The room switch operates the interior dome light. When the door switch is depressed, the dome light operates automatically when either door is opened. The fuel filler door release lever and the trunk release lever are located here. The trunk lid can also be opened with the master key, but not the valet key, and a lock switch on the trunk latch mechanism can be set to prevent the release lever from opening the trunk. When set at open or cancel, only the master key will open the trunk. This is handy when leaving the car with a valet. For additional storage space, the rear seat back provides trunk-through access. Release the latch under the right rear headrest to fold the seat back down. But remember, passengers should never be allowed to ride on the folded down seat back. There's also a locking device behind the seat back cushion to prevent unwanted access to the trunk. This section covers normal maintenance procedures that are often performed by owners. For service inspections and repairs, see your Subaru dealer. Open the hood by pulling this release handle under the left side of the instrument panel and moving the hood latch safety catch in the direction of the arrow. Let's start with a quick overview of where everything is located. Shut the engine off before performing maintenance checks. Here's where you'll find the oil dipstick, engine coolant filler bottle, transmission dipstick, power steering fluid reservoir, brake fluid reservoir, differential dipstick, fuse and relay box, and front windshield washer fluid reservoir. The rear window washer fluid reservoir is easy to reach when the trunk lid is open. The oil level should be maintained between these two holes in the dipstick. When changing the oil and oil filter, the oil capacity is 6.3 U.S. quarts. Add oil here. See your owner's manual for recommended grades of oil. Check the coolant level at the reserve tank while the engine is cool. If the level is close to low, add an ethylene glycol coolant that is safe for aluminum engines up to the full mark. Coolant system capacity is 7.4 U.S. quarts. Check the automatic transmission fluid after driving the car for several miles so that the transmission is at operating temperature. Park the car on a level surface and put the gear shift selector in each position before putting it in park. Set the emergency brake. In order to get an accurate reading, you must leave the engine running. Be very careful to stay clear of moving engine parts. Also, make sure you're not wearing loose-fitting clothing or jewelry. If the fluid level is below the hot range, add fluid up to the F line. The recommended fluid is Dexron 2 type automatic transmission fluid. If the level has to be checked with the transmission cold, it should be within the cold range. You should also check the differential gear oil. If the oil level is below the low mark, add differential gear oil to bring it to the high mark. Add new differential gear oil through the dipstick hole. Check your owner's manual for the recommended grade. Also, be sure to have your rear differential fluid level checked periodically by your nearest Subaru dealer. The power steering fluid level should be checked at operating temperature. If it is below the hot range, add Dexron 2 ATF to the upper mark. If checked cold, read the level based on the cold mark. Check the brake fluid level on the outside of the translucent tank. If it is below the minimum line, add brake fluid up to the max line. Again, check your owner's manual for the recommended fluid. Engine compartment fuses can be inspected here after setting the ignition switch to lock. Check your owner's manual for additional information on the main fuse and fusible link. Use the fuse puller provided in the fuse box cover, which also shows the fuse capacities and circuits. Always use new fuses with the same amp rating as the ones being replaced. If a fuse blows after replacement, have the electrical system checked by your nearest Subaru dealer. A second fuse box is located on the left side of the driver's compartment just above the kick panel. It contains additional interior system fuses. Your tires affect handling, ride quality, and fuel economy. That's why it's important to check the tires frequently for proper inflation pressure, wear, and cuts. Check the tire pressure cold after the car has been parked for at least 3 hours. Optimum tire pressures for ride, handling, and fuel economy are front 33 pounds per square inch and rear 28 pounds per square inch. Also, remember that your tires and wheels are directional. That means they work best when mounted to rotate in the proper direction, and handle the aluminum wheels carefully to maintain their appearance, performance, and safety. For possible vehicle malfunctions that prevent continued driving, here are a few tips. If you have a flat tire while driving, never brake suddenly. Keep driving straight ahead while reducing speed slowly. If possible, park on a hard, level surface. Put the transmission in park and apply the parking brake. Stop the engine, turn on the hazard warning flashers, and have everyone get out of the vehicle. The spare tire and jack are stored under the floor of the trunk. When using the temporary type spare, never exceed 50 miles per hour, and replace it with a conventional tire as soon as possible. Loosen the 5 wheel nuts with the wrench provided, but don't remove them. When using the jack, it's a good idea to place blocks in front of and behind the wheel diagonally opposite the one being changed. Also, be sure to place the jack at one of the jack-up points, which are behind the side sill flange. Make sure it's positioned correctly. Turn the jack handle until the top of the jack engages correctly. Then continue turning until the tire clears the ground. Some common sense precautions help avoid injury when using the jack. Don't jack the vehicle when it's on an incline or with passengers inside. Always place the transmission in park and set the parking brake before jacking. Don't swing or push the vehicle or load or unload any cargo. Never get under the vehicle and never start or run the engine while the car is jacked up. In case the vehicle is inoperative, you must use a flatbed truck or a tow truck with a wheel tow and a vehicle rear wheel dolly to get both the front and rear wheels off the ground. This protects the all-wheel drive system and is mandatory in case of transmission failure. Don't forget to read your owner's manual for more details and other important information not covered here. With the proper attention to service and maintenance procedures, your new car will provide the pleasure you expect. So enjoy all the advantages of a truly advanced performance luxury car, your Subaru SVX.